first, second, and the fifth line are longer and they rhyme with each other. And the third and fourth lines are shorter and they rhyme with each other. And they're usually humorous, sometimes a bit naughty, but they are a very old form of poetry. There's somebody called Edward Lear who's considered the father of the limerick. He came up with many interesting limericks in a book called The Book of Nonsense, because very often limericks are nonsense that is fun. Uh, his limericks were so popular at one time, they were called, his surname was Lear, so they called them Limericks because of that. So let me try and remember one of his limericks is, there was a young lady from Niger who smiled as she rode on a tiger. They returned from the ride with the lady inside and the smile on the face of the tiger. So yeah, so there are many, and there are many limericks that start with there was a young lady, and some of them are quite naughty, so I won't get into those. But even many of us, especially me, in nursery school we learned something which was a limerick. Does anybody know what that would be? What is the nursery school limerick? Yeah. I can't hear. Okay, we'll do it later.
She's saying something about Abultam.
Yeah. Okay, not so. There's something called that goes Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one. The mouse came. The clock struck one, and down he run. Hickory Dickory Dock. So that's the earliest limerick that many of us learn at a very young age. These actually started out in the 1600s or even earlier as drinking songs. So it comes from Ireland, right? So there's a place called Limerick in Ireland where this form was popularized, and there's a book of very, very old limericks which were written in Irish and then later translated into English, where there was repartee between the drinkers and the pub owners. Let me try and remember. So there was one guy called Sean O'Twama who had a pub. And so he recites this particular, let me look it up in my book so I don't get it wrong. So he says one day at his pub, I sell the best to make all my customers merry, but at times their finances run short as it chances, and then I feel very sad, very. So this is what he says, and everybody cheers, all his customers cheer. But there's one guy who's standing very quietly, not amused at this at all. Then he comes to the front and he recites another limerick, which goes, Otwama. Otwama is the name of the pub owner. He says, and the person who's reciting it, his name is Andy McCraff. So he says, Otwama, you boast yourself handy at selling good ale and bright brandy. But the fact is your liquor makes everyone sicker. I tell you this, I, your friend Andy. So basically this is the kind of repartee that happened with limericks.